right. From 2003 to 2013, the US murder rate fell in connection with Internet Explorer's market share. As a software engineer who had to support Internet Explorer during that time, this relationship makes intuitive sense. Having to support IE did make me feel murderous at times. But did the browser's decline really contribute to a drop in murders? Of course not. You keep going forward in time, and the relationship breaks down. Correlation is not causation. Likewise, with your own product, when you make a change and key metrics move, how do you know that was because of your change? The world is a complex place. So we can't just look at graphs of outcomes, but what we can do is take a page from the playbook of how medicine is tested, how they try out new drugs. Randomized control trials, or you might know them as A/B tests. We randomly assign users a variant and then compare the outcomes. If you're not doing this, if you're not testing with statistically rigorous experiments, you're not really learning. But what does good experimentation at a software company look like? How does an organization go from 0 or few to running thousands of experiments? I think the best way to convey this information, to show you it, is to give you a front row seat to my pretend new company. And while the company is pretend, the examples are pulled from real life. So I'm excited to announce that today I'm launching Skito Burrito. Order burritos on your phone and have them delivered to you on the ski slopes. If there are any dragons or sharks in the audience, I'll sell you 10% of this business for 300,000 pounds. Talk to me later. So I'm launching Skito Burrito, and I want to start gathering learnings as soon as possible. The time to start testing is right now, right at launch. So I'll start with simple A/B tests. I'll A/B test my mobile landing page, randomly assign half the users a light variant, half the users a darker variant, and then compare the app download rate for each. I'll run statistics to see if one meaningfully outperforms the other, and then use the results to guide my future efforts. And I want users to go to this landing page, so I'll A/B test social media posts to see which messaging best drives engagement. And if some users are downloading the app but not ordering their burritos, I'll A/B test my email drip campaigns to see which emails are best at driving activation. For those who are buying burritos, I'll A/B test promotions to see which ones are best at driving an increase in sales. And of course, I'll A/B test new features and any other changes to the product itself. At Skito Burrito, we'll build a habit of constantly brainstorming lots of ideas to test. As two-time Nobel Prize winner Linus Pauling once said, the best way to have a good idea is to have lots of ideas. Anytime we're not testing something, we're giving up an opportunity to learn. So now at Skito Burrito, where we wear our ski helmets in the office, experimentation has become part of company culture. If somebody has an idea, we bias toward wanting to test it out rather than shooting it down. And we regularly meet to go over how our experiments are going, what we've learned, and which ones we want to run next. However, just because we're running A/B tests doesn't inherently mean that they're useful. Tests are only as good as their data and evaluation. So recently at Skito Burrito, we had to restart an experiment after 2 weeks because we realized a bug in our code wasn't assigning variants fairly. I hate wasting that kind of time. So to combat this, we're going to leverage automated diagnostics that will check data immediately after the experiment launches. And this will help prevent false starts in the future. Also, right now at Skito Burrito, the experiments are being evaluated by hand. People are doing this in Excel, SQL, R, Jupyter Notebooks. That means the math is different depending on who's doing the evaluation. And sometimes math mistakes are made. So what we'll do is we'll adopt tooling, an experimentation platform that will standardize our evaluation and remove math errors.
And if you're enjoying this, LeadDev has a ton more to offer.
I'm quite fond of the articles.
I feel like LeadDev blogs
are my favorite, and it's been really, really useful to kind of create these more meaningful connections as well.
If there's something you're struggling with as an engineering leader, there's a pretty good chance that lead dev has published something that addresses it.
So make sure you check out leaddev.com.
In those testing meetings I talked about, when results aren't as planned, often there's a lot of discussion. Did we set up the experiment right? Did we evaluate it right? What should we do next? Maybe we roll it out anyways, maybe we don't. This is really slowing things down and wasting a lot of time. We can get ahead of this with preset decision criteria. We'll have pre-approved default test settings and default rollout protocols for our commonly experimented surfaces. For Skeeto Burrito, that'd be our homepage, our checkout flow, ordering. This will reduce friction in creating and evaluating and acting on our tests. Wait, hold on, I'm getting a phone call on this headset. Oh, it's my team. I've just received word that thanks to our culture of experimentation, sales are going up and to the right. And this is the best direction for sales to go. So now it's time to go beyond simply running A/B tests. I've reinvested that sweet burrito money into expanding my team so that we can get even more sophisticated with regards to experimentation. One thing I've been looking at is that we recently ran 5 tests, and they each measured a sales lift of 5%. This should total a 25% increase in sales, but I'm not seeing this. So we'll use global holdouts, a universal control group of users withheld from all experiments, to measure the cumulative effects of our ideas and experimentation process. Another issue I'm dealing with is that some users are getting strange experiences in the app. For example, they're being guaranteed delivery within 5 minutes or their money back, while at the same time offered a discount if they establish a 20-minute burrito delivery window. This doesn't make any sense. We need to keep certain experiments from running at the same time for the same users. And to do this, we'll establish mutual exclusion layers. And for some use cases, there isn't a single winning variant at all. For example, an older skier might respond differently to an image than a younger snowboarder. For these situations, we'll use a contextual bandit. This is an algorithm that uses reinforcement learning to gravitate toward showing the variants that work for a given context. So right now, your head might be spinning, and you might be thinking, there is no way I can match the statistical sophistication of Skeeto Burrito. But you're wrong. Lots of experimentation platforms out there, open source and commercial offerings, can do this all for you. Wait, I'm receiving another call. It's my team again. Apparently, Skeeto Burrito has IPO'd. That's a weird way to find out, but this is great news. With our continued success, we've expanded our organization across the board. Our developers are now constantly shipping. We now have thousands of commits a week to our code base. With all of these changes happening all the time, I want to make sure we don't accidentally break something. We need to keep moving fast post-IPO, but safely and at scale. So, just like coal miners use canaries in the coal mine to detect a buildup of carbon monoxide before it became deadly, we'll use canary deployments to detect bugs and other issues. We'll roll out new changes to a small group of users and then ramp it up while monitoring key metrics. If something goes wrong, we'll have mechanisms in place that can automatically roll the change back. This will limit the blast radius of errors or mistakes. We could canary rollout at the user level, use canary Kubernetes pods, canary data centers, canary geographies, whatever keeps us safe. For any of you affected by that multi-hour GCP outage last week, that was in part due to the change not being canary deployed. It was in their postmortem. In fact, I've seen innocuous one-line pull requests bring down entire applications. So ideally, every change should be an experiment. To move fast, safely at scale, at Skeeto Burrito, we'll build out developer workflows that automatically canary deploy every one of our changes. And so now, our culture of testing combined with advanced tooling we built and bought has allowed us to surpass 10,000 experiments. Most of these are canary canary deployments, de-risking our day-to-day changes. Then the next biggest tranche are targeted A/B tests, testing nearly every aspect of our business. And then the small remainder are more sophisticated tests tailored to their unique experimentation constraints. And while Skeeto Burrito's story is fictional, it does involve real strategies used by companies like Airbnb, Netflix, DoorDash, Expedia, and many others, each of whom credits their success to a strong culture of experimentation. So there's lots of options for tooling out there, and it's all getting better and better every day. What you may currently think is limited to these larger organizations is rapidly becoming accessible to you now. Before you know it, you too will have the capability to run 10,000 experiments. Take advantage of it and carve out your own path. All right, thanks.